Hello and welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is episode 313 for the month of September 2021. I am Alca7raz and joining me as usual is Nemesis.
Hey there.
This has been an interesting week. How about you? Any particular interesting things happened
For me?
for you this past week?
Well, Psychonauts 2 finally came out. I got to play it
yeah.
because I backed it way back when, I don't remember how long. It was 2015, 2016 now, I think.
Something like that. I backed it too. I played a little bit too.
So yeah,
that did
finally
just
get to
come
play
out.
it. I've been messing with, completely destroyed my sleep schedule because I keep staying up till 3 in the morning playing it. And then, of course, I still, can't just go immediately to sleep because that's not how I work.
Yeah. Yeah, I played a little bit of that. I need to get back into it. Quake also came out, and we've been playing a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, the
actually.
Quake remaster.
The Quake
thing.
remaster. I'm already through the first 3 episodes, so it's actually the farthest I've ever made in the original Quake.
I can't remember how far. I remember I played through I think I played through the entire thing a couple years ago. Again.
I played more Quake 2. I actually had Quake 2 on disc original way back when, so I played a lot more of that than I did the first one. I didn't have the first one. But when it came out, it was like, well, I guess I have this now because I have Game Pass.
Yeah, Quake 2 RTX I have because I bought Quake 2 way back on Steam because it was dirt cheap.
Yep, I had it on CD, one of the CD releases. So yeah, that's been interesting, and absolutely nothing important happened to me,
right?
Other than
car dead.
Yeah, my car died literally last night as of recording, and while I fixed it this morning, I also bought a new car. So that's been my past
Just in case.
In the past 24 hours, I went from going everything's perfectly normal to, oh no, my only mode of transportation is dead. And I don't know why, to I think I fixed it, but now I have another backup car.
Just in case.
Just in case. It's been an interesting 24 hours and very stressful. But, yeah, that's been my last 24 hours. So yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks. As far as the pony world goes, we have a fair amount of news to go through, actually. Most of it is merch. Yeah, so with G5 really ramping up, the merch has just been... Yeah, it's just been a deluge of merch stuff. So, I guess we'll be talking about that, because, yes, we should move on to the actual primary part of our podcast, and we will start with those news that I was just mentioning. We also have a little bit of discussion. We're going to talk about a comic, and we're going to go back to the last MLP episode of Season 2, which is the last one that we have never done a review on this podcast, and we'll have them all finally signed off and had an episode for every single one of them so far.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse, we'll be completely done for every single episode. So we're going to talk about that one, and I guess a tiny little bit of fan content, sort of, the end. So
a dollop.
Yeah, just a dollop of daisy. How many of our viewers are old enough to actually know that commercial? It's not that old of a commercial, but it was like 90s, early 2000s. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. News. If you would like to follow along, and I highly recommend you do, you can check out our show notes at pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. It's spelled LIBSYN, so go there, click the link for this episode, and let's get into this. In convention news, Everfree Northwest 2022 has been announced August 12th through 14th, and pre-reg is open. Yes, we were there for 2021. It came back, and it was fun.
Yeah.
A little odd being back at a physical convention, but pretty nice. We're not going to spend an hour talking about the convention, though. We did that once.
I did that
You
once.
did that once.
Literally the first episode.
Literally.
I think it was actually closer to 2 hours.
I think, it may have been. It's been a long time since that. Anyway, that's the convention news. There's probably going to be a bunch more popping up shortly after this. I think, stuff's happening. Just watch Twitter. Fandom news. Legends of Equestria, that's a thing still, has a mobile version for Android.
Mm-hmm. The game still lives.
Yeah, the game still lives, which, the game's in Unity, so it's not super difficult to port over, but you do have to do a lot of considerations for small form factor and smaller power devices. So yeah,
mobile controls. Ugh.
Yeah, touchscreen controls, because that's what you got.
Unless, of course, it's got gamepad support.
Well, it might have gamepad support, but I know that's touchpad controls, so it's touchscreen controls. Because you can't expect everyone to have a gamepad.
No, but hopefully they'd have it there for people who do have a gamepad.
Yeah, I don't know if it does or not. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other updates and stuff. So click the link in the show notes that you should be following to get more information on that. In the huge list of merchandise noise, like I mentioned earlier, let's get into that. A bunch of G5 themed t-shirts have popped up on Amazon. These look official.
They're official.
Yeah, it's all the official art and stuff like that. So it's not like we left fine stuff. But yes. T-shirts, just a ton of, like 20.
Oh god, it has that face.
Yeah, and it's a mixture of the 3D images and also those 2D images that we saw in those bed sheets for the very first G5 picture ever.
Some of them are using unfinished renders.
Isn't that just part of the course, though?
Yeah, but it's just funny because I used one of them that particular face, which just looks terrifying.
Oh, that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
This ain't right.
Yeah. And you know what's great?
Huh.
With everything we know about what happened with G4 merch, they're never going to update those pictures.
Yeah.
They're going to use, like, how long were they using S1 release stock vectors on merch for G4 stuff?
I'm pretty sure they're still using them as of last year.
Yeah, it's just, they just get the very first stock vectors that ever come out and never update them. Ever. Yeah. And they just keep pushing those same ones. It's great. So, anyway, mobile game Zen Pinball has added a pony themed table.
Mm-hmm.
So play pinball with ponies and such. There's a little video in the link that shows off a little bit too.
Yeah, so it's actually not out yet, but
yeah, they're adding it though. It's a thing.
I'm not sure. That was a while ago, so it might already be out.
Yeah, it might already be. Yes. Yep. If you play that and you want ponies, there you go. Play by Play has a couple listings for G5 ponies, and one of the listings actually includes Hitch. They have 2 different series listed, and one of them has Hitch.
Boo.
So you can get the Class Trader.
Yeah, get the cop. Burn it.
Yep. Their new line includes the cop. I'm going to butcher this name. Major?
Sure.
Major has listings for the Favorites Together collection, which are the brushable ponies that include 3G5 and 3G4.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $26.
Yeah, so G4 ponies in G5 style. Twilight does not have wings.
Interesting.
That's a classic Twilight again. All right.
Oh.
Dash looks a little weird, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually saying they like the Dash one there.
Yeah, the Dash, though, she has Twilight hair.
It's a brushable.
I know, but it's just funny.
Yeah, but brushable hair.
And then in the actual packaging, it's totally different.
Yeah. Moving along, the ornaments are here, or they will be here. The standard pony ornaments. This time we have Vondels and Hallmark have G5 Christmas ornaments. One of them is a Dutch company. Vondels is a Dutch company. They've released 3 of them, and then Hallmark's got their one. If you get those, because yes, Christmas is starting to approach.
It's August, which means, no, at this point it's August.
At this point it's September.
Yeah, well, when you hear this, it's actually till maybe August when this comes out.
Yeah.
Which means Christmas stuff is on the way.
Yeah. Yeah. How much room are they going to make for Halloween, though? Because we still got to get through that. There's also Thanksgiving, but that gets more and more ignored like every year.
Oh, yeah, food, I guess. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Unicorn Snot and Lottie London have both announced MLP collaborations for makeup lines.
Unicorn Snot specifically makes your face all glittery.
Yep. Glitter. Ugh.
Not that kind of glitter. It actually sticks because it's in gel.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit better. It's still glitter, though. Gets everywhere. It's like sand. I hate sand.
Shut up, Anakin.
Mighty Jax has revealed a Nightmare Moon Dissectables figure. Got a lot of people are really excited because
it's like the Celestia. It's a large one.
Yep. So spendy.
The X-ray. So it'll be $160.
Yep. It's big. It's spendy, but it's Nightmare Moon. It's neat.
It comes out in January.
Yep. Super Impulse has announced a new world's smallest toy line called Micro Toy Box, which includes some tiny G1 ponies. So yes, yep. I think they had some G1 ponies a while back on like little ones, and I think they might be the same ones, but now they're included in this big box set.
World's smallest.
World's smallest. They're tiny little things.
Mm-hmm. They're actually big, and they're at the size that basically they could be pony toys for your ponies.
Yeah. They are very much my little ponies.
My nano pony.
My nano pony. Not micro. We're skipping micro and going all the way to nano.
Exactly.
Femto ponies.
Oh no.
Pico ponies.
Pico.
The war criminal. Anyway. Basic Fun's retro ponies now have some listings. They were announced a while back. There was a whole set of them that were listed. They finally got an update out.
Twinkle Eye ones.
Yep, the retro Twinkle Eye G1 style, because I think the rest of these are, other than some of them, yeah, these are G1 styles. They announced a whole bunch, but apparently they're only listing like 4, I think is what they said, instead of the entire set. They're going to see how well they do before they try and push the rest of them out.
Yes.
Omnibus in Japan has listed a bunch of humanized or Equestria Girl style items, like t-shirts and mugs and little acrylic figures and such like that.
Acrylic
it's got
figures.
Twilight, Pinky, and Rainbow Dash. I don't know whether you want to call it humanized or Equestria Girls, because
well, it says Equestria Girls on the branding.
It does say Equestria Girls on the
Yes.
branding.
My Little Pony Equestria Girls.
So, but it is very much the Japanese style, and it's really cute, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, even the figures themselves, those acrylic standees have the Equestria Girls branding like on their sleeves.
Right. Yeah, there it is. So it's definitely Equestria Girls, but except it's in the very much like anime style.
Yeah,
so
keychains and mugs and standees, t-shirts.
Lions
What
and
I don't
tigers.
get is they made these hoodie designs and they don't actually sell the hoodies.
No, it's
I was like, oh, these hoodies, that's kind of neat. And then, it's just pictures of the
just
hoodies
a
on the
picture.
t-shirt.
I
And
was
it's like,
because those would be really cool.
yeah. T-shirts also about almost $40. That's the other thing.
Yeah, they're kind of spendy.
Yeah. And
So
then,
if
of
you
course,
really want
if
the
you're
cute
ordering, I believe you have to ship them from Japan, which can actually add more.
Yeah.
Well, actually, nope. They
Or
don't
is
not ship international at the moment.
So yeah, either wait for them to ship international or find a friend.
Or see if there's a service which will do it for you.
Yeah, there are some services out there that you can do that. So you have some options if you really, really, really want one.
Yeah, but just know it will be spendy.
Yes, it will be. Unless you have some really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Or you live there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Moving on, last couple of merch news. There was a lot. And it's both Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya has revealed the sculpt of their upcoming Hatsune Miku pony figure. Yes, the sculpt is out. And apparently they're going to be releasing more information in a couple of days between now and release. They're possibly going to be a little bit more information. Who knows? Watch our Twitter for updates on that. But yes, I am excited because I've really kind of fallen into the Miku trap.
Fool.
Yep. It's pulled me in. And last bit of merch news. Kotobukiya's Luna and Celestia figures have been delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Celestia has been delayed from September of this year, so, this month, to November. And Luna has been delayed out to February of next year. Out of merchandise and into comic news, the Generations #2 comic synopsis and such is out. And the synopsis is: Grackle and Dire, the young granddaughters of the evil witch Hydia, have set out to destroy all of Ponydom. And even worse, their plan might be working. Friendship begins to fall apart as their lackeys Black Bell, Shadow Storm, and Violet Shiver wreak havoc in Ponyville. In Friendship is Magic news, because I guess
Surprise.
that's still getting G4
I thought
news.
this section of the news was retired forever.
You thought it was over, but the ride never ends.
It's kind of ending, though.
Yeah, it's not huge news, but Angela Ann has released a bunch of the concept art that they did and worked on for the MLP movie, the G4 MLP movie. You have to specify that.
Yep.
So you can see a lot of there's a ton of concept art. It's really cool to look at. You can see a lot of the character designs before early character designs. They definitely got modified.
Hence concept art.
Yep. That's why it's concepts. It's really neat. Go ahead and check it out. Into G5 news. We apparently have the names of the 6 songs, or at least 6. Don't know if there's actually going to be more or not, but we have names of 6 songs that are going to be in the movie.
Well, if they go any further than that, we start becoming a musical, so I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, well, it was like that one episode. Yeah, we're not going to go there. We're not going to dig that one up. So yes, according to Ace Repository, the songs are Gonna Be My Day, My Little Pony: A New Generation, so I guess we're gonna have a title song. Fit Right In, I'm Looking Out For You, and Danger Danger, Angry Mob, and Glowing Up.
Danger, danger.
Danger Zone. Looks like a novelization of the movie has been uploaded to the internet, and a new toy has been announced that both, well, the novelization obviously, but the toy also apparently have major spoilers.
Yes.
I have not looked at
the
either
description of the toy has spoilers because there's no pictures of it.
Right, yeah. Major spoilers abound, so beware.
Yeah,
You're
less than a month away.
Yeah. I haven't looked them up because I'm trying to be spoiler free. It's getting harder and harder, but I'm trying to be spoiler free. And the official trailer for the movie is finally out, if you didn't already realize, because it's been out for like
a couple weeks now.
Yeah, it's been out for a little bit, just before Everfree, but we
haven't talked about it yet.
We haven't had a chance to do an episode yet. And yes, it is out. It's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently a couple of localizations, I think the Ukrainian one, had like a couple extra snippets that the other ones didn't get.
A total of like 3 seconds worth, but hey.
The 21 seconds of Monty Python. Get on with it.
Yeah. So we finally got to see the movie in motion here. The characters talk as the character and all that stuff fall in one go. We've been kind of like, people, where's the trailer? The movie's coming pretty soon, guys. Where's the trailer?
Yeah, but it's a Netflix release, and they like to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we've seen that. We're seeing Sunny and meeting Izzy and Beans, as I saw.
Beans.
I was like, what's going on? Why is everyone talking about beans?
It's 2 a.m. Me and the boys at 2 a.m. looking for beans.
It wasn't 2 a.m. though. It was 2 p.m.
Oh, God, that's like my boss that pushed an update out to everyone and forgot the AM PM and pushed to 11 a.m. and everyone's computer rebooted on Thursday in the middle of the day and everyone yelled at me.
I'm just like, why beans? And that's why beans.
Beans.
Because that's what fandoms do. They take one character trait and basically make it the entire character.
And Izzy's been the butt of everyone. Tennis balls, beans.
Did a character eat food? Whatever food they ate is eternally their favorite food and the only thing they ever eat in fan work.
Muffins.
Exactly.
I know what you're referencing there.
Not just that, but like anything in fan work. Like seriously.
Apples.
Fan bases have a hard time grappling with anything beyond, simplicity like that.
Applejack eating apples, though, is just kind of par of the course for the character.
I mean, for her, yeah.
We'll give that one a pass. That's just Applejack.
Applejack's hatred of pears. Hey, Apple, did you know most fruit products have pear juice in them?
Well, let's just hope she doesn't.
When it says 100% natural fruit juice, but then it also says artificial flavors, that means it's pear juice.
It's pear juice. Pear juice is really versatile. Yep. It's almost like corn.
It's really versatile and cheap.
Remember, corn is not a food. It's a platform.
But anyway, yeah, the G5 trailer is actually pretty good looking. There's a lot of interesting stuff that it looks overall really nice.
It does. I'm seeing it in motion, seeing the trailer. I am actually more excited. It actually got me excited. It's like, okay,
Pony DDR.
This looks good. Like I'm looking forward to this.
It's also got Pony DDR.
It does. I play to win.
Yeah. So yeah, it's looking pretty fun still. We're getting the idea of what's going on. I mean, Magic's gone, ponies are separated. I mean, we're kind of new this, but now we're it's cementing and all that stuff.
Yep.
Ponies.
The ride never ends.
It could though.
Yes, and I guess the last little bit. There's also a short little clip centered around Pip that seems to be from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up on the official Amazon store page for G5.
Pip's an influencer.
Yeah, she's an influencer. That's
one of those weirdos that pops up on YouTube.
I know. Ew. Yeah, but she's also a big star too. So, yeah.
What was the things that she said at the end? It was kind of like a stupid pun.
Yeah. I can't remember it, but I remember there being something like that. I just can't remember what it was.
Stupid dumb pun thing.
Yeah. Also, it's like all the little things we're seeing with the cell phones. Apparently, the Discord program is now canon.
Yep. Pip squeaks.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
she calls her fans Pip squeaks, and she signs off her videos with Pip Pip hooray.
Pip Pip hooray. Pip squeak. God, that would be almost like calling your fans deadbeats or something.
Or chum buddies or shrimps.
Chum buddies, shrimps. KFP workers.
KFP employees.
Employees, yes. So yes, that's the news. So there's a fair amount of it, and we spent a little time talking. Moving on, discussion topics. We're going to start off. We do have a comic to talk about.
Yep. Friendship is Magic number 101, the penultimate issue, episode 2, actually, of, the comics.
And the proper use of the word penultimate.
Exactly. I know better. I learned that years and years ago. Anyway, written by Jeremy Whitley with art by Tony Cuisito and colors by Heather Breckel. That's pencils.
Cuisito? I think so.
Right. So yeah, I got that whole thing. Let's see. Twilight just got the warning from Dash about the Knights of Harmony are coming. Candelot's going to be under attack, so he's going to, of course, scrambling to get everyone into safety and get ready for the attack. And then, hey, look, they show up, and they're like, we'll talk to Twilight. Only Twilight. Okay. And like, hand over the elements. We can't. They're gone. They're part of us now. Well, we're going to have to kill you. Oh. So yeah, then they break through the shield and start attacking, and then things go real bad, and now it's looking like the Knights of Harmony have the upper hand, or hoof, if you must.
We must.
And yes, because we got to be, it's at the end, it doesn't say to be continued, it says to be concluded, because, yeah, the final issue is next time. So yeah, this is the summary of this comic. Yeah, it's got some nice scenes, nicely drawn scenes for sure. There's a 2-page spread, fight scene, everything. Some nice layouts here and there, including a thing. The panel's kind of going over a map, or I guess a bird's eye view of Candelot. Some interesting dialogue. We've got the Knights of Harmony, like they show in kind of that weird kind of dialogue of like this is our what we're representing. And it's like those are interesting names. And what was it? It's this guy. Danu of Canabula. Yeah. And it's like it's they're here to mess everything up because let's see, what's it so they're really powerful and they got the upper hand real quick.
Yep.
Element of pride, element of acceptance, element of loyalty.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hold up. Element of equity. All right.
Isn't that something you put into your house by fixing things and making it better?
Element of magic.
Hey, wait a minute.
Element of, where was that last one?
Faith.
Yeah, so
I wonder if that's subtle. The element of faith brainwashes people.
Oh, there's some people in the fandom who are like, I have anti-religious screed.
That was like that one episode.
Probably word for word, anti-religious screed.
Anti-religious creed.
Screed. Anyway, it looks like
that one episode with
backs
Twilight.
against the wall, all that stuff. Also the realization, they want to destroy all the elements, which means, that means...
Doesn't that mean destroying yourself?
Well, destroy the main 6, but also, hey, look, the legendary figures, all that,
wait, like,
Meadowbrooks and Nebula, all that, and then what about the students? Oh, no. Yeah, so that's fun.
Yep. That's the thing.
Yeah, we're gonna, I guess, see how that concludes. Again, I said good artwork. So it's still a continuation of the whole Knights of Harmony thing, which is like
it's kind of marred. I mean, we're not doing the same pattern anymore, but
goodness, but still, it's just like that whole setup was not great.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah, this could be interesting. I don't know what's gonna like. There's a couple different ways that ending can go. Like, are they gonna everyone resolves it and happy, or are they gonna really go, this is the last one, we don't care, everyone's dead? God, that would be a way to go.
Turn it dark,
or maybe they're the reason why G5 happens the way it does.
Oh wow, that would be one heck of a move to pull.
That would be one heck of a move for sure, but
I'm not sure if Hasbro would allow it.
I don't think so, but it would be funny.
That's why G5 is all messed up, because the Knights of Harmony messed it all up.
Because they succeeded.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. You know what? That would be fun. Now I kind of want it.
Do your dark ending. Or end it with Spike's play. It turns out it's all just Spike playing with a snow globe.
Oh. It was all a dream.
So that whole thing, I'm wondering. I'm not sure how people are reacting to this one, because I know reactions have been mostly negative to the season 10 comics, because the whole Knights of Harmony thing has been kind of handled not well.
I don't like what it does to the lore. I mean, I didn't like what the Legendary 6 did to the lore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's fine for what it is, but it is kind of the tail end of a kind of not great story.
Yeah, it's fine for what it is. I mean, and the villains do seem that it's a standard trope for the villains too. Like, oh, we're like the ones that came before, and no one else can. We have to stop it for whatever misaligned reason that they haven't given yet because they're just about to. Literally, that's the last page. Yeah. Time for a story. Yeah. End of issue.
Also come across as nothing personnel, kid.
Exactly. That's what it comes across as. Oh, well, guess we're just going to have to kill you then.
That's just how it is.
Don't take it personal. Actually, that line came up with one of them when fighting Big Mac. Don't take this personal.
It's just how
nothing personal. I'll change you back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the comic. Moving on, we are going to talk about that season 2, unless you wanted to figure out what the general reaction was. Yeah, the last of the season 2 and the last of the episodes we haven't talked about ever before. We are going to talk about Family Appreciation Day. So, quick synopsis. Zap apples. There we go. So, the Zap Apple offers is coming, and the Apple family is getting excited because Zap apples! Mm-hmm. And then the sort of Apple starts getting embarrassed by Granny's old people antics, and then at school they're doing like Family Appreciation Day. Hey, that's the name of the episode. And they're each going to bring a family member in and tell stories. But Diamond Tiara is a jerk and makes Apple Bloom embarrassed about Granny Smith, and Apple Bloom tries to get out of it and tries to avoid it, and it fails and fails and fails, and Granny Smith ends up showing up anyway. But the story ends up being really, really good, and yeah, that's it.
Yep, pretty much.
She didn't have to be embarrassed. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. It's weird. I'm not a fan of cringe humor, and this one kind of uses it, but not. It uses it in a weird way that isn't quite the same. So I don't really have that big of an issue with its use there. It's not the greatest episode, but it's not bad.
No,
it's really not bad. Gave us a whole story of the whole thing of Zap apples, which are weird, but they're also magic, and you don't gotta explain crap. But it also gives us an origin story of Ponyville. That's probably one of the coolest lore things that it gives us.
That's the biggest thing this episode gives us is that origin story, the lore of Ponyville, I guess.
Yep.
Because other than that, yeah, it's a pretty just kind of appreciate your grandma, I guess.
Yeah.
Love your grandma.
Love your family.
And the whole thing is basically just, it's a pretty thing of like CMC thing, just misadventures, weird plans.
Yep. And surprisingly, this time they didn't end up in tree sap, even though trees were pretty central to the story.
But they did end up in pig slop.
They ended in pig slop, but not tree sap.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the whole thing with Apple Bloom just getting... Yeah, first she's just like, yeah, she's fine with being a granny. Then Diamond Tiara gets in her head because Diamond Tiara does what Diamond Tiara does.
Yep, she's a jerk.
Until she wasn't.
But she's still a jerk here.
And that whole thing, and she's mocking her because, wow, Granny Smith is just... That noise she made.
Oh, she's old.
That noise that Diamond Tiara made.
Yep.
When she was doing the gagging motions. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she just... Well, it's just another thing. She just bullies Apple Bloom in particular. Yeah, on that front, it's pretty standard CMC Diamond Tiara interaction. But yeah, it's the big thing is just the payoff of, oh, hey, we're just going to dump some lore.
Yep, and it's just a big lore dump. So yeah, it's the Apple family plus others, or
Apple family primarily, though.
Primarily, and I think there were some others as well.
Essentially the founders of Ponyville.
Pilgrims, basically?
Yeah, which that's funny.
Implications.
Pilgrim has religious implication.
Yeah, because Pilgrim does have religious information, but it's kind of started to lose it a bit.
Yeah, pioneers, though.
Pioneers is probably the better term. Think... and that's got some bad history to it. The whole Manifest Destiny. Oh,
yeah.
The journey west across the U.S. On wagons, the Oregon Trail, and all those kind of things. The pioneers on their horse-drawn wagons, founding new towns and such. And that's basically what it is. They're a big group that's going out, and they run into Canterlot. I had a counter like, wow, big city, and Princess Celestia's there, and it's like,
oh, you can have this land.
You're really tired and you've been traveling. That big empty spot is next to the really dangerous forest is yours now. And they went there and they started to make their orchard, but it takes a while for those to grow, and they're getting hungry. And then Granny Smith journeyed into Everfree Forest and found the Zap apples.
Yep.
And figured out how to grow them and make
How to
Zap
harvest
apple jam
them.
and stuff. And that got Ponyville really popular.
Yep.
And more
So
people
a
showed up
town-
and stayed, and that's
So
how
the
the
town was formed.
Yep, and that's how Equestria was made.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Is like how towns are formed. Basically, just one person sits somewhere, and then it becomes popular, or just happens to be in a crossroad for trading routes or whatever, and then it's just people just kind of stay around. And
Yep, someone who has an investment into its particular use stays there because, well, they can. And then because they're there, someone else shows up, and then someone else shows up, and then someone else shows up, and you get like, oh, there's people here. Well, I can drop a store here too. And they go, oh, well, there's more business here. I can drop a store. Well, we should drop a post office here. Or you just like, let's just put a bar next to this road over here, and then you get a post office next to it, and then a general store, and that's it. We call that Matlock, Washington? I'm sorry. Anytime I work pretty close to that place. I've been through there a couple times, and it's just like I can't not make that joke because there's literally like 4 buildings in main Matlock area. The only reason it's on a map is because it has a post office.
yeah, so the thing is, the episode has some kind of funny little gags and visuals and whatnot. There's Granny Smith kind of doing her weird stuff involving Zap apples without explaining anything, of course.
Of course.
It just looks like Granny Smith's being weird. Turns out, no, she has an actual reason for her things, her methodology here.
And her I wonder if that's where Applejack got it and then just screwed it up. Remember Applejack's day off and her weird routines?
That was a different thing.
Yeah, it was kind of different. But
that was just she did something because it needed to be done. Then she fixed the problem, but she just kind of forgot that you don't have to do the thing anymore. She just kind of kept piling on this. You got to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Zap apples are actual magic and very temperamental and blah.
You have to paint pink polka dots in order to make it taste right.
Yep.
And it was literally hand waved with "it's magic," so it does weird things. That was literally the explanation. Magic is magic. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a bad episode. I was like, oh, it's this one, but
the thing about the lore stuff though is what's interesting is how much is like it makes you wonder how much of this was kind of the whole because a lot of people look at the chess master Celestia thing of like how much of that was she pointing them there because she was trying to set things up because the Castle of Two Sisters was in the Everfree Forest and that's right next door, so it's like how much was she trying to set up to basically set up for the elements of harmony to start forming in Ponyville so that things would be ready for her sister.
It did really give seed to that. That
was a very common idea.
And I could totally see it because Celestia is that kind of I don't want to say
plans.
She is, but there's a lot of things that lead credence to that belief. Mm-hmm. That's never a confirmed in canon thing.
No, but it's
it could definitely be supported by canon. There's nothing that
very much easy to infer it.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It doesn't say that she's not the chess master.
Yeah, but that whole thing was just like them wondering of like how much was that really her just kind of getting things ready.
She was specifically out in Canterlot waiting for them to show up, kind of a thing, because she knew they were going to
as well. But also just knowing that this is a good opportunity. I'm going to get the ball rolling, so there's a town there for when my sister returns. And
yeah, that's another one. How much of a chess master? How much does she actually know?
Yeah, that whole thing.
Because if she knew that it was them, then you're like, wow. Then she has like future sight, which wouldn't be too
there
out
was
of
a
the
prophecy
realm?
for her sister's return.
Right. Who gave that prophecy?
They
never explained that.
It's just a prophecy.
Because usually in stories like this, when they have a prophecy, they usually have some sort of seer or mage. It's very common they'll have some like really old character.
Sometimes, yes, but
like
not always.
Wizard. No, not always, but it is super common to just show up out of nowhere.
Sometimes
and gives
the
a prophecy
is just some writing on the wall, and they don't explain. They don't say who wrote it. It's there. Deal.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Just a random book that appears one day.
Or a poem or a book or something passed down orally or whatever. Any which ways, it's not always a old sage type character.
Unless the prophecy was made by Celestia herself, because she knew how long the spell would last, because she basically cast it with the elements, obviously, but she knew.
But the whole thing with
she
the
knew it was
stars
going to be
and escape, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe she knew that Nightmare Moon and / Luna being tied to the stars, she knew the spell would last that long before she'd break free.
There's a lot of
stuff like that. So she knew, and she started trying to put things in place so that when her spell wore off.
Yeah, any which way, there's a lot of the lore that just simply was not really explained, and that doesn't necessarily need to be explained, although some people would insist it does need to be, but whatever.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something. Someone actually recently was complaining that the G5 trailer didn't basically spell out the whole movie.
I've found that
there's so many gaps in this. It's a trailer.
Look, I think we've said this before when it comes to trailers. There are two kinds of trailers: the ones that literally spoil everything, or the ones that tell you basically nothing. Mm-hmm. That's what there is. I prefer the ones that tell you nothing because I want to be kind of surprised and want some suspense.
Anyway, this person basically was complaining the trailer wasn't essentially the whole movie in a minute and a half or whatever. And
I do see that a lot. It's like they want an explanation for every little thing.
Yeah, they literally wanted an explanation for all this stuff. It's like, you'll find out in the movie.
Yeah.
Why don't you wait for it?
Yeah. And that goes with series. There are some things that I would really love explanations for, but there are some things that are better unexplained.
Yeah.
God, you want to go into that kind of lore? Just ask some Trekkies. The entire lore of Star Trek and how many things get explained. Sometimes you don't want it to get explained because when they do explain it, it's horrible. It's just kind of falls apart. It's like what happens in Mass Effect Reapers. Man, Mass Effect 1 Reapers were so freaking cool. Beyond your comprehension. There's this being so vast, so powerful that no human could truly grasp it. By the third one, they're completely understandable, and they're pretty mundane.
Well, it was because of a huge rewrite.
Yeah, I know, but they basically ruined it.
I can't remember.
They were so much better when it wasn't.
The version was way different for Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, I know, and it's just you ruined it by actually explaining. They fully explained it with Harbinger and whatnot. Not was it Harbinger or was it the other one? I can't remember. One of the original, the creators of the Reapers was still alive, and they talked to him and fully explained it. And it was like, well, now you just ruined the Reapers. Great. Sometimes you don't want everything explained. Sometimes it's better to not. But yeah, that was probably the biggest thing about this episode. We got that big lore
stuff
dump
at the very end. The most important thing, the only thing actually, I think that actually the one thing that most of the fandom actually cares about.
Well, other than the mere existence of Zap Apples, because that's just been a fandom thing. Well, I mean, it's not like a big, super important thing, but we love using it. I mean, people, even at Everfree, there was a pretty big part of the charity donation was a huge thing of Zap Apple stuff, and it actually went for a pretty good amount.
Right.
So we still see Zap Apple imagery and talks about it, and it's a fun thing that we use, but it's not like super important to the fandom. I mean, it's just kind of cool.
Zapples, but then I'm also afraid that it turns out it's some actually either copyright or bad term.
Oh, yeah. Zap Apple, not Zapple.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's just, I wonder why not.
Yeah, I know.
So obvious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, though, that's probably why it's too obvious. Someone else already got it.
Yeah, possibly. Could be. I know.
Or it turns out it's a pass their word you really shouldn't be using. I'm going to get in huge trouble for saying it.
Yeah.
Which I doubt.
It's unfortunately they didn't actually do it in the. I don't think they actually did that in the show, but the one that pops up in the fandom a lot because of Sherlock Pones and Friendship is Witchcraft. Romaji.
The Romani.
Romani people.
Romaji is something different.
Romaji is the not English, but the English letterings used for Japanese.
Yep.
Yeah, kana. Also called Hepburn in some ways. There's multiple different ways of that, so yeah.
The romanization of kanji, essentially.
Yeah, essentially the romanization and
Romaji.
Romaji, yeah. There's multiple ways you can do that, and they've kind of settled on one. Yep. But yeah, there were multiple variants. Hepburn being one.
Yeah, but that was a whole thing. That's it's funny. The creators are kind of ashamed of that, and that's kind of sucks. She talked about how it sucks sometimes. Oh, that's kind of thrown back in her face constantly by people singing the song.
Yeah,
because a lot of people aren't aware.
Most people don't realize that the G. I don't want to say it, but yeah, that it starts with the G.
Yeah, it was also used a lot in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
It was. Yeah,
because a lot of people just aren't aware
most people just don't
multi-hundred-year-old slur.
Yeah, it from its
European,
birth,
which is why a lot of Americans aren't aware too.
Yeah, because
It's largely Eurocentric thing. So
because we don't really get the Romani people aren't in the U.S. It's not really. They are, but it was primarily they were European
thing. It was their version of complaining about Mexicans.
Basically. Oh, and I'm trying. The word has just escaped me because my brain doesn't like holding on to words. The kind of people they're nomadic.
Yeah.
The Romani people are nomadic people. So almost like frontiermen, but not quite. People with the wagons intend to find a place to settle down.
Way
Romani
to try to tie it back in.
Yes.
Try.
Yeah, I'm trying to tie it back in. But yeah.
Yeah, it's as an episode overall, it's actually kind of a... If it wasn't for the lore dump, I think it would be largely forgettable.
Yes.
The lore dump specifically is what makes it go from somewhat forgettable, okay episode to actually important one that people remember very distinctly.
Yes.
Yes, because there's funny visuals, yes, but a lot of the episodes have funny visuals.
A lot of this, the season 1 and 2, we pulled every little bit of funny visuals out of them.
Faces for whatever reason, Diamond Tiara scrunchy facing, or Apple Bloom just being all smug
or
about,
a couple of
I
smug
figured
faces,
out, I win.
And
no,
then
you didn't.
No.
You do not win. You win no
you
points.
Lose.
I award you no points.
I award you.
I have to do the whole thing right now.
Yeah.
I heard you gearing up.
Yep.
Wind down.
I was gonna do a different one, but then you went that direction.
Yeah, it's one of the things. There's a lot of funny bits in there, but nothing really stand out until you get the lore stuff. And the lore stuff is really interesting. Can carry a lot of implications, but it really depends on how you want to interpret things.
Yeah, like how do you where did they come from? Where did they go? I won't continue that either.
Right.
But yeah, where did they come from? If they're migratory, if they're frontier people, they're coming from somewhere to settle. Where did they come from? And then they found Canterlot. It's like kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those.
They don't explain how Equestria came to be and how that kind of stuff started and stuff like that.
Well,
expansion
way
of
back
Equestria.
when they had this whole thing with like just the founders of Equestria, where they wandered off to find a way of get away from the Wendigos, and then they're there. And
then went, this is Equestria now, but they didn't like.
And then all the other ponies, I guess, started moving in, and then I don't know how they define. The whole stuff like how they define borders and stuff has never been a thing the show's been interested in doing, and probably for the best because again, it's a show for children, and they're not going to be carrying geopolitical scenarios like that.
That's for fandoms.
That's for fandom
and that
nonsense.
Can be really interesting. I've seen some really like in fanfics and such with going into dealing with all of that. You can get some really interesting things,
especially with the whole sometimes the implication that Equestria has in some ways may mirror Earth.
Yeah,
of course, in the debate, is Equestria a country or a planet?
Yes. Although I wonder if it's one of those things.
And then of course,
we call it Earth, but what do other countries in their language call it?
Yeah, and then of course there's also what's the geopolitical situation with one ruler of a country basically controls the rulers of one country to control the sun and the moon.
Yep.
And basically, they can demand anything because okay, fine.
I guess you just don't get daylight anymore, or I guess all you get is just permanent 12 o'clock high noon sun. Have fun with that. Drink lots of water.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, but yeah, that's the stuff the show doesn't really get into. For better in the end, but it's just I know some people really just wanted the show to just be aimed at 20-plus-year-old people.
Yeah,
they really wanted it, and when they didn't get it, they got basically declared the show bad.
Okay, like it's one thing to want it. I would love to have stories like this that actually go into more depth and detail and stuff like that. Not like hard sci-fi level, although that would be kind of cool. But I'll leave those for fandom. But I also understand that it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't need to.
Yep.
And it's not bad for not. It is what it is, and it's good for what it is.
Yep.
So I think we're rambling now.
Yeah, we are. We have been rambling.
We're rambling. It's some good little topics in there, but we're starting to ramble. So I guess we should move on and kind of close this up because in fan content, I do not have any music.
Nope.
How about fanfics?
Oh, nothing new. Couldn't find anything I was really into. Clear Skies did update after a bit of a long hiatus, as the author explained. How life has been hectic for her as well.
Yep. Life happens.
Yep, including Everfree.
Including Everfree. That was the thing.
In this new chapter, they finally they found Moondancer and Minuet finally found the a bit of the treasure and all that stuff. And then hey, look, they weren't the only ones who found it. The I guess rival group found found it shortly afterwards. Although it was mostly because Minuet was loud.
Yeah.
And then a bit of a tussle, verbal tussle mostly. Mostly. Although the Pegasus from the other group was very willing to get physical.
Yeah. The force field helped a little.
Yeah, and then they kind of made it a little more of a wager and about finding the rest of it and all that stuff. And now that's where we are.
Although honestly, with what they found, what they said it was, even if you don't find any of the rest of it, you're still basically set for life with what was in that chest.
Pretty much.
Just don't let them know, because they may actually kill you for it.
So yeah, that's the update.
It was pretty interesting. Nice short little updates.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if that's it for fanfic, that's the end of fan content, and that's the end of the episode. So, I hope you liked what you heard. If you did, you can find all of our episodes, past, future, present, at pony411.libsyn.com. That's spelled Libsyn. So go ahead and check that out. We're also available on a number of other places, including Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and whatnot. If you go to the Libsyn, there's a whole bunch of links across the top where you can find other places to find us. You can subscribe to them and whatnot. We are also on YouTube, youtube.com/pony411. So subscribe to us there. Click the bell and whatnot, you know what to do. And make sure to like and comment. We do read those. Even if we don't respond, we do read them. Please be nice. We are also on Ponyville Live, as long as that site is still limping along and trying to update, but I guess we're still there. And we are also on Ponyville FM, where we air every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So tune in then. Or tune in whenever, because it's a great place to find fandom music and live DJs and whatnot. It's a good place for music, so check them out. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can email us. We are pony411podcast@gmail.com. So send us comments, criticisms, suggestions. Tell us what you liked about this episode. Tell us what you didn't like about this episode, the podcast or the show episode. Tell us if we're wrong about our opinion, or if it was like the most amazing thing, or if it was absolutely horrible. If you would like us to talk about something, maybe you have a fandom project or something that you would like us to show off, send it our way. We will take a look. No guarantees that we'll put it on the podcast, but we will take a look. And if you just want to say hi, I guess that works too. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. So go like our page there. We'll post updates when they happen there. And we're also on Twitter @pony411. Follow us there. Tweet us random stuff. That's all Twitter's good for, really, is news and random nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, you can find both of our personal Twitter accounts. She is @NemesisPrime1, and I am @Alca7raz with an underscore at the end and a 7 instead of a T. Normally do those the other direction, but whatever. So yes, I really haven't been tweeting. I've been liking certain things, so I guess if you want to look at my likes. But yeah, I don't really tweet all that much, but I do read. I'm a professional lurker. And you've just been tweeting just your standard Transformers stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So.
I mean, you tweet other stuff, and then it's like, I want to think about it at midnight. And it's like, that's not a good time to tweet.
It's not a good time to tweet. Most people are asleep, except those people on the other side of the world. And they're at work. So you got to catch the ones where they're just waking up or just going to sleep.
Yep.
So I guess that's it. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. And I hope you tune into the next episode, where we will be talking about the G5 movie.
Yep. Finally.
Yes. It's happening.
Yep, here we go.
It's happening.gif.
It's happening. Getting the happening, punker.
Yep. That will be exciting. I hope you tune in, because it's going to be an adventure one way or another.
Adventure!
New adventure awaits. Until then, though, remember, please, pony responsibly. See ya.
Goodbye.